G'day everyone. In today's tying video, I'm going to be tying for you a very effective still water pattern that is particularly good at this time of the year, and that is a blob. Now, there are so many different blobs that you can fish out there, and they all have their little uses. For example, we've got a beaded blob here, tungsten beaded blob. To give it some extra weight, you can have blob boobies like this one here. You can have two-tone blobs, such as this pattern. You can have a foam-ass blob for some extra buoyancy as well. And you can even have some very drab blobs like this olive one there. Now, in Australia, in Victoria, where I live and fish mostly, I find the colourful patterns are better, particularly at this time of the year. We have plenty of trout in our lakes that are stocked at a young age, and they seem to respond well to colour, whether they're freshly stocked or have been in there for a number of years. So for that reason, I'm going to be tying a colourful version, which is the coral blob here. Now, the hook I'm tying this one on is a Hanak 250. I like a wide gape hook when I'm tying these flies. The reason for that is, as you can probably see with some of these patterns here, there is a lot of material, and if you have a narrow gaped hook, there is a chance that, you know, the fish may not actually find the hook point. So having that extra gape, I do find, is very, very helpful when you do have a lot of material on the body of these flies. Now, I'm just tying with orange thread. I do like to pop a little flash tail in there. It's not really a big deal. It's not why this fly works, but I like to have it in there. I like the way the tail looks in the box when it comes out. So I'm just tying in some pearl flashabou there that I'll trim like so. Now, there are so many different materials out there. For the coral blob, I love the Solderini stuff. I like tying with the Solderini stuff as well because it's very easy to work with, but there are heaps of other good brands out there. You've got Dohiku, you've got Flybox UK, Celtic Blob Company. Look, they're all pretty good. It's just what you are comfortable tying with and what you're used to using. So now what I do is I just strip a little bit of that material off. Just makes it a little easier to tie in. So we'll tie it in the back, and now all we need to do is wind it forwards. Now, this material here, as you can probably see, it's quite fine. It's a lot finer than some of the other materials out there. So if I take this coral material, for example here, you can see that's quite thick and dense. If I was tying with this, I would only do probably 3 turns, and that would be the fly. Why I like this stuff here is it's nice and fine. Means I can do a lot of wraps and I can just form a normal classic blob body. Or if I'm fishing for smaller fish or touchier fish, I can tie quite small blobs out of it really well. 14s and 16s work nicely. So all we're going to do is we're going to wind this material forwards and pull it back as we go. Now, this material is quite easy to work with, but if you have material that doesn't want to pull back for you, a very handy trick is you can get a glass of water, and all you need to do is actually just dip your fingers in, wet this material, and then it almost takes the memory out, and you can kind of guide it back. It lays down really nicely for you. This stuff, as you can see, because it's quite fine, it just goes wherever you pull it and tell it to go. So I'm just going to wind, pull it back, wind, pull it back. Like I said, you can do different amounts of turns and spacings between your turns, and that's going to create a different size fly, different profiled fly. The other thing you can also do is you can tie the fly, and there's no reason why you can't trim into it later on. All right, so come to the front there. Now we're going to just tie this off here. Now, important when you are tying these guys off, you want to make sure you don't actually cover the eye. It's very easy for a fiber or two to just cover the eye there. And then if you head cement it or glue it, it can cover it. And it can be quite annoying when you find it in your box there. So what I do is I just pull the material back like so. Build up that thread head a little bit. Trim you so you're out of my way. And then I'm going to make a couple of half hitches, and as I do afterwards, I just get a little bit of super glue on a needle and pop that dab on there or on wire, and that is all Done and all good to go. There you go. Such a simple fly, but man, does it catch some fish. Our fish here in Australia, particularly those that have been stocked, just love a bit of color. But it is amazing how on a lot of fisheries that have a mix of rainbow and browns that are wild trout fisheries, they will still eat a fly like this. I typically like to fish it on an intermediate on my top dropper. It's kind of a lure and attractor. You can fish it fast, you can fish it slow, and you can even fish it static with a team of nymphs. Or as I showed you there before, you can stick a bead on it and fish it, under a dry, under a bung. It works very well like that as well. If you don't tie flies, the other cool thing is you can purchase this fly and other blobs at the Fly Life Fly Shop online. So check that stuff out there. Please like the video if you did, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you all next one.